For weeks, the WNBA has been caught in one of its most heated debates of the season. Sophie Cunningham spoke out. Fans reacted. Players and coaches took opposing positions. Social media exploded. And now, after all the noise, WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert has finally addressed the controversy directly. But Engelbert's message wasn't the definitive ruling many people expected. Instead, she described the issue as complex and nuanced and revealed that the league plans to hold more discussions with players and team leaders. So what exactly did Engelbert say, and does this mean the WNBA is preparing for a major policy conversation? Let's break it down. The controversy began when Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham publicly expressed her opposition to transgender athletes competing in women's sports. During an interview with ESPN, Cunningham said she wanted to protect young girls in sports and in locker rooms. Her comments immediately generated intense reactions from across the basketball world. Some fans applauded Cunningham for speaking openly about an issue they believe deserves more attention. Others strongly disagreed with her position and argued that transgender athletes should be treated with inclusion and respect. But Cunningham didn't back away. When reporters asked about her comments, she doubled down. She said she stood by what she had said and described protecting children, including young girls involved in sports, as extremely important. Then Cunningham took her message to social media. In another post, she emphasized that she believes everyone deserves a safe and welcoming environment. She specifically mentioned biological girls, biological boys, transgender women, and transgender men, saying that everyone is welcome at her table, even when people disagree. That distinction became an important part of her public message. Cunningham wasn't simply saying that she opposed transgender participation. She was also arguing that disagreement doesn't have to mean hostility. But the controversy continued to grow. And eventually, the question became impossible for the WNBA's leadership to avoid: what does the league itself think? That's where Cathy Engelbert finally stepped in. Rather than announcing an immediate change in policy, Engelbert sent an internal memo to the WNBA. In that message, she acknowledged that many people within the league had been receiving questions about transgender athlete participation in women's basketball. She also made it clear that she expects the issue to remain under significant public attention, but the most important part of the message was her description of the issue as complex and nuanced. That's significant because Engelbert did not present the debate as something that could be solved with a simple statement. Instead, she indicated that the league wants to continue having conversations with players and the WNBA Players Association. Engelbert also announced plans for additional discussions and listening sessions for team leaders who want to participate. In other words, the WNBA appears to be moving toward dialogue rather than immediately announcing a new policy. And that could be important. The league is dealing with a complicated intersection of competitive fairness, athlete inclusion, privacy, safety, and the future of women's sports. There are passionate opinions on all sides. Some players and fans believe women's sports must maintain clear boundaries based on biological sex. Others believe transgender athletes should have opportunities to participate without discrimination. And somewhere in the middle is the league itself, which now has to determine how to navigate those competing concerns. Engelbert's memo suggests that the WNBA understands the seriousness of the issue. She thanked players and league personnel who have responded to media questions with professionalism and thoughtfulness. She also encouraged continued communication. That approach could be designed to prevent the controversy from becoming even more divisive. But it also leaves a major question unanswered: what will the WNBA's eventual position actually be? Engelbert didn't provide that answer. Instead, she signaled that more conversations are coming. And that means Cunningham's comments may have opened a much larger discussion than she initially anticipated. What began as one player's personal opinion has now become a league-wide conversation involving players, coaches, fans, executives, and potentially the WNBA Players Association. And because the WNBA is experiencing unprecedented attention, every decision the league makes will be heavily scrutinized. Cunningham has made her position clear. Critics have made theirs clear. Supporters have made theirs clear. And now the league office has finally entered the conversation. But rather than choosing a side, Engelbert is asking people to keep talking. Whether that eventually leads to changes in policy remains to be seen. For now, the message from the WNBA commissioner is clear: this issue isn't going away. The league knows it. The players know it. And the WNBA is preparing for more discussions. So the next chapter could be even more significant than the controversy that started it all.